Hey, what's up guys? Books Nelson here with another video, and today we'll be talking about the lack of Kobe Bryant collector level reward. Let's get right into the content. So this was requested and with good reason. So if you're not aware of what's going on, basically the collector level is extremely hard to get, especially it would be normally difficult for most people because you have to get a high number of cards in the game to unlock collector level, but it's made more difficult once they put in the gambling only cards because to get these rare cards starting from the All-Star update, you have to literally buy packs to be able to get at the top of that collector level. And one of the things driving people to the top of that collector level, some might even say the only thing driving people to that collector level, was the opportunity to get an undescribed mystery version of Kobe Bryant, which because of the time of year that he's coming out, because of how good his cards have been all year, you can pretty much expect him to be the best card in the game. Or at the very least, at the very top of what the game has to offer for the entire year. And outside of out of position cards, Kobe promised to be at the very top of the heap. People are very excited about it, not only because of that, but because of Kobe Bryant personally. As an individual, may he rest in peace, is one of the most popular NBA players of all time. He's in many ways this generation's Michael Jordan in terms of the people who are coming up now, the players who are coming up now. They don't all yell Jordan when they throw waste paper in the waste paper basket. They all yell Kobe, right? It's Mamba mentality all over the place, Kobe tattoos all over the place. They all want Kobe shoes and all that other stuff. So Kobe's a great thing to dangle as a prize for 2K. And I remember when Kobe passed away, there was kind of like this effort of, we don't want to be vultures, right? As in we being 2K, we don't want to be hovering around the body of Kobe Bryant. I was actually on a channel. We had a reasonable amount of subs at the time, the At Me Bro Show channel. And I made the video when Kobe passed away, just kind of talking about it, venting any emotions, letting everybody else do that through that video. We were all really affected by this. And that feeling was very strong of for those of you guys who don't know, I'm an artist. If I wanted to draw a bunch of pictures of Kobe Bryant when he passed away and sell those pictures for a lot of money, I very much could have done that. And it just felt gross, right? Especially for me, because I don't know, I can't even explain this to this day, but out of all celebrity deaths in history, for some reason, Kobe and Prince hit me like I knew him, hit me like I knew him. And I know LD2K over there, 2K, he's as big of a Kobe fan as you can get. He who used to be a community manager personally would hate to be out there using Kobe to get people to gamble in a video game after he passed away. But yeah, here we are. That is what it pivoted to once the player market was destroyed this year at the time of the All-Star break. Once they did that, Kobe changed. He turned into something that was attainable, and if you were a collector, you were kind of doing it to get there. He turned into a motivation to gamble. And that, it was what it was. We didn't really talk about it. We all knew what was going to happen. And then, as April goes, so it was promised early in the year that he would be available in April. In Street Fighter, we have a funny term. We call it Mapril, where it's going to come at the very last day of the month, right? And so that was why I didn't say anything until April was over or something was announced, because until it was at the very end, sometimes companies will be scrambling to get stuff done at the very, very last minute. And it could be anything, because sometimes a lot of teams are involved in this stuff. Could have been the art team. It just needs more time. They had very special card art, something like that. So working in the industry, and when I say the industry, I mean the entertainment industry, right? I've worked for HBO and Marvel and DC and Mattel and Hasbro. I haven't technically worked for 2K, but in the same industry, and having friends who work, I do have friends who work for 2K. I do have friends who work for other video game companies. So And when I say 2K, I don't just mean literally NBA 2K. I mean, Take-Two Interactive. I have friends who work on other games at Take-Two. So I understand how these things work. We talk about these things, right? And so I wanted to wait until it happened. Here it goes. It happened. So for those of you who are very, very upset about this, I understand. And I don't have anything to make you feel better, because the fact of the matter is, this is horrible. It's just horrible. So I want to address one sentiment right off the bat. As a person who does have, a professional awareness of these things, right? And I've worked for things close to a live service. I understand how this stuff goes. And the truth of the matter is, yes, if you are running a live service and anything involving a video game, circumstances can ruin the best laid plans, even with the best of intentions. So here we have Corey, and mind you, if I click on Corey's name here, you see follows you, I follow him. I've known Corey for a long time, going way back to Operation Sports. I have no issues with Corey. Me and Corey are totally cool. In fact, if I did have a problem with something he was saying, I could DM Kobe. He'd probably DM me right away, and we'd talk about it. That's not what this is. But I want to address this. So I'm not calling Corey out. I think he's saying this from a good place, but this needs to be addressed. I'm going to play devil's advocate, Corey. I don't know what's going on, but sometimes it's not as simple as it looks on the surface. Working with licensed property means things can change from any side. If changes happen, sometimes there can be NDAs in place that prevent comms. This is absolutely true, right? There could be some rights situation with Kobe Bryant that specifically affects this one aspect, that you could have Kobe's shoes in the game, you could have Kobe's other cards in the game, and you could even see 100 overall Kobe in the card in the game. But for some reason, as a collector reward, the negotiations broke down for whatever reason. In fact, Vanessa Bryant might have said, I'm cool with Kobe being a collector reward as long as he's never something about just pulling backs. Now, I don't think that happened, but it's technically possible, right? And once they changed to the gambling model, she could have sent somebody over and be like, oh, by the way, don't let them do that with Kobe. They got to do something else. Let's say that did happen. Did that happen today? No. That definitely, well, I can almost guarantee you that part. No, we're already in the unlikely scenario. To say that it happened today, no. But they announced it today. They waited until the very end of April to tell you that there was going to be no Kobe Bryant. Now, I want to unpack that for a moment. Because the thing is, what happens before you know as a collector? See, we talked about the emotional value of Kobe Bryant, right? So if you are emotionally tied into wanting Kobe Bryant, and I tell you, I am not as a collector level reward, but for me, it's a big bummer that I can't get the Galaxy Opal, because I would love to have a team that runs with Kobe in it. It just feels good to say, I have Kobe on my team. And I imagine that people who feel that way and are also collectors also feel that way. So that feeling has a value in and of itself, right? The feeling of, I want to do a thing to acquire Kobe Bryant. Right? And what is that feeling after the All-Star set comes out? That feeling is, I want to get all of these cards to make sure I get Kobe Bryant. Right? So you look at everything leading up to it. While there are some great cards, I told you guys from the very beginning that the 100 overall cards are not real. In the sense that, A, they're not actually quite as overpowered as you think, number one. And B, they're there for an emotional enticement, right? They're there to get the whales or the FOMO people or the gambling people to have a serious reason to say, I need this. I want to go get this, right? And if some of those people who were just like, well, I don't really care about, I'm not going to get the 100 overall, right? But I want to get all of these back in the day opals, or I want to get all of these dark matters because I want to make sure I get Kobe. Those people would pull the packs with the same enthusiasm until the very end of April, when they get final confirmation that there is no Kobe Bryant. So even if, Corey, buddy, even if there is something going on behind the scenes that forced them to not have Kobe with the reward as a reward. And for the record, I doubt this. I do not think this is the case. And I'll tell you guys why as we go forward. But even if that was the case, the communication and the use of the people's enthusiasm for a Kobe Bryant that doesn't exist, that was no accident. They had some time before today, and most likely before last Friday's drop, which I'm sure made them a bunch of money. They had some time to communicate with the community and say Kobe's not happening. And they waited until literally the very last second, getting the most possible value out of the Kobe FOMO. And that's something I want to highlight here because it's, again, what he's saying is true. So and he's playing devil's advocate. He's not saying this is what has happened. He said these things can happen. And he's correct. No lies told in this tweet. However, presenting this as a likelihood, we can table that, right? What he's saying is a technical possibility. In fact, it's a reality of live services of all kinds. Things change. But the possibility relies on, well, it does rely on some inside knowledge, but it also relies on, well, is this consistent, right? Is this consistent with what's been going on? So what has been consistent? Well, one thing that's been consistent is the communication. So at the start of this video, I had this tweet up, right? From DBG. This is from, I believe, the Discord. And this is 2K's statement. 2K strives to deliver the very best NBA 2K24 MYTEAM experience to the community. Please note that a change to a reward has occurred. A change to a reward. That is language. Players who achieve the top collector level will now receive an option pack for 2 picks out of 10 previously 100 overall cards. We appreciate that players have dedicated time and effort, they didn't mention money, throughout the year to achieve this reward, and 2K is committed to ensuring players continue to earn valuable content as their reward. So first of all, this is not on their Twitter, right? So this is another choice. Because this is not what you do when you genuinely regret that you're not able to deliver on something that you really wanted to deliver on, right? See, what Corey's talking about is we made these big plans, right? And to be fair, we is a large word when you're talking about a company as large as 2K. There are different teams with different intentions, different developers, different producers, all wanting different things. So on the one hand, you have people who really want something, on the other hand, you have people who want something else, right? But for now, we'll just say we as 2K. We wanted to deliver something, and we could not that we did not. We could not. That's Corey's notion. So how do we handle this for the community? How do we make this better? Oh, in the deep, dark corners of Discord where we hope nobody looks at us, we'll put out the most PR statement in history? No. That is not how you handle a situation like this. And if you want to know how to handle situations like this, look no further than Blizzard, Bungie, many other live service games that have had issues come up with things that they wanted to deliver, sometimes as small as a skin, sometimes as small as a format change inside the game, like inventory or something like that, sometimes something as large as an entire DLC, right? All of these things have come and been ups and downs throughout the live service journey. And whenever it's happened, you know what those guys did? In fact, I can show you what those guys did. We're going to look up Diablo devs apology. So the Diablo devs, you see this right here that Asmongold is reacting to? They made a mistake and they held an emergency live stream where they all got in front of a camera and said, "Our bad. we did something in the game that was bad for the game, and we didn't mean to roll it out this way because of the way our company is built. We intended to roll it out differently, and instead it came out bad. And we see how through a series of unfortunate events, this all sucks for you guys. And we wanted to acknowledge that and let you know that's not the feeling we want you to have. That's what companies do. And 2K is well aware of this because they're not stupid. One thing to never ever say, and this is the one disagreement I have with most content creators, where they say this is bad for the game, or this is bad for the company, or they could make more money if they did this. No. Never assume that the billion-dollar company doesn't know more about you than making money, right? Doesn't know more about you, about the results of their actions. To pivot just a little bit, this goes back to the apology tour, right? When I said I suspected there would be an apology tour, why did I say that? Because I knew that if they repeated that model over and over and over again, they would just pound all of the energy out of the community. Pause. Right? They would just demoralize the community week after week after week. Now, shout out to them. Instead of a real apology tour, they just gave us good to, I would even say great free content as far as cards go throughout that time. I'm bringing this up for a specific reason though. What did they not do during that time? What did I say the apology tour would be? I said it would be content, right? Free cards are not content because that's not a new way to play the game. A new way to play the game are your spotlights, your dominations, your special events. This is what live services really do. What 2K MYTEAM has become a card simulator, right? They're just a card generating factory. This is their content. Card. There is nothing else in the game besides card. It's take the new card and play the old game. Take the new card and play the old game. What does this mean? This means that, without a shadow of a doubt, there are developer resources that have been taken away from an aspect of this game mode that we are used to, right? And instead, they have pared it down to cards. And once they pare it down to cards, they have to ensure that they make a certain amount of money and keep a certain amount of engagement. And this is what I said about the free content from the very beginning. They need engagement for the people who are going to spend a lot of money, and they need the engagement for the people who are going to spend a lot of time. And this is why free cards aren't enough for the game mode. It doesn't make a good game mode. A good game mode makes a good game mode. Good ways to play the game makes a good game mode, not just new cards. That makes a good card game. But 2K24, MYTEAM, is not a card game. It is a basketball game where the players are represented by cards. You don't actually ever use cards. You use players. This is not Hearthstone. This is not Magic. So cards are not, in and of themselves, content, right? They're an aspect of content, but content is a way to engage the game, which, by the way, right across the street in my career, you get all the time. Brilliant in the theater, rotating events that are actually interesting, fun. They have the dunks right now. For those of you guys who don't play, a dunk is worth 4 points. This changes the flow of the game. It feels really different because it almost feels more like a football game, because even if you're down by 8, 2 dunks, and now you're back in it. Changes the feel of the game. Actually makes you want to say, oh, I want to go to theater. That sounds like fun. And it is fun. What in MYTEAM has happened that makes you want to actually go into the mode and go, oh, that sounds like fun? Nothing, because you're playing the same stuff you've always played. Even the one thing they've added, the domination, is just a filler, reskinned old version with cards dumped into it. There's no new goals. It's just new prizes for the same old thing. Nothing new has been added to this game basically all year. They are not dedicating resources to that. So when they come out with a statement like this, all of this stuff is a factor. They know the experience that you've been having, and they know the experience that they're trying to deliver. right? So what is that experience? And I realize this is going on for a while, but we got to get comfortable with this one because 2K did it bad and we got to cover it. All right. The experience that they're trying to deliver is, in my opinion, not only more of the gambling simulator, but they're moving more towards the gacha game. What is the one thing that has changed throughout the entirety of this game, right? I don't know if we'll see it if we scroll down. I'm sure it's going to pop up soon though, right? So we've got collection, all good, yada, yada, yada. But the one thing that has changed outside of pure cards throughout this entire thing is the mobile app. That's where the resources have gone. The resources have gone to the mobile app. And you see advertisements for the mobile app. And I know some people don't like the mobile app. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I think the mobile app, like from the perspective of a guy who's grown up playing basketball games since Double Dribble, the mobile app is crazy. Like having that on your phone, a full AAA, last gen, admittedly, basketball game on your phone, fully functioning for free, that's crazy. And it's important to say that because even if you hate the mobile game, I feel you. But understand, look at it globally, right? People who don't play 2K have phones. Speaking of Diablo, right? One of the big faux pas they had, in this clip right here, he goes, he's talking about their mobile game, and he says, the next Diablo, this is back before Diablo 4. The next Diablo is going to be a mobile game. And everybody booed him. And he said, what, don't you guys have phones? And that was a big faux pas because you don't put game developers in front of microphones. You put community managers in front of microphones, which he was not. So he made a boo-boo. But what he said was very important. Don't you guys have phones? See, when they made the mobile app, they're saying, we sell this many copies because you need one console that was two consoles that were almost impossible to get for like 2 years to have one, right? But phones, everyone has. And this is free. So the amount of resources, don't underestimate how big of a deal that mobile app is to 2K, which is why, and we can kind of round out with this, it is very important for 2K to have a complete lack of accountability. They do not want a community manager exposing their actions, intentions, and answering for their lies. They don't want the microphone and the bright light of scrutiny, honesty, and sincerity to be a part of their communication. So respectfully, Corey, if something happened between them and the Kobe Bryant estate that stopped them from using Kobe Bryant as a collector reward, who cares? That is irrelevant. What is relevant is how they handled the relationship with the community. And the consistent thing this year, all the way up until this failure, on the name of, may he rest in peace, Kobe Bean Bryant, the Black Mamba. Up until this moment, where they literally besmirch Kobe's name, they have consistently failed to have a real relationship with the community, honesty with the community, treat the community with any kind of respect or honesty, right? Or sincerity or humanity. They just want the community's money. That's what this company wants. Yes, the developers love basketball. They do, right? Well, at least the ones who design the basketball stuff. They're engineers who know nothing about basketball. Their job is just to crunch numbers and make sure that the basketball people, get what they want out of the binary code. But the designers love basketball and they love video games, and they get a lot of pride from making a good video game. They don't want to meet someone who say they don't know that they're a dev, which unless your name is Mike Wang, they probably don't know you're a dev, right? They don't want to meet somebody on the street, strike up a conversation about 2K, and hear terrible things. Yes, the thing you spend 10 to 12 hours a day on, I hate you for that. I hate that thing. That thing makes me unhappy. It makes me angry. They don't want to hear that. They're human beings. They want to hear, I made something that made you joy. Take it from an artist. Take it from a person who's literally worked at these companies and been in these rooms. I have never been, ever been in a room with a creator who is making something and says, I hope this makes people miserable. I have, however, been in PR rooms where that's happened. I have been in marketing rooms where that's happened. I have looked CEOs in the eye who don't care about their product and how it affects people at all. They just see numbers, right? Like the Matrix. They just see little ones and zeros. They don't see human beings spending money, working jobs, working a full week and wanting to take their mind off of all of their responsibilities by sitting down and enjoying the beauty of a basketball, I say this term loosely, simulator. Right? They don't care about that. They just trying to hit those numbers. I've seen that lizard brain active, right? One of my first jobs was working at the stock market, right? Yes, there are people out there that don't care. The developers don't count amongst those people. Their jobs are too difficult and they take too much time. They take them away. It costs too much sacrifice. They want to share what they love about their jobs with you guys. But the developers aren't in control. So who is in control? It's the lizard people at 2K. That's who's in control. And I mean that, listen, I don't mean that literally. All right, don't hit me with the Illuminati stuff. I'm saying, metaphorically, the lizard brain is what we're talking about. But just looking at community reactions, Troy Dan, slow downfall every year since LD2K. Chris was removed as a community manager. Yeah, because Chris cares about people, and that's a problem. Right? Chris is a human being who loves basketball, loves it to death. And Chris I'm so glad Chris isn't community manager, because if Chris had to talk to people about using Kobe Bryant's name in this way, he'd be sick. And I don't want that for him. HTB, using Kobe Bryant's name to false advertise isn't it crazy though? I just don't understand how that decision came to be. Oh, lizard people, HTB. Sorry, Henry. You're not dealing with human beings. Not in this context. They don't see you as a human being, so don't return a favor that's not being done for you. So yeah, I stressed this to you guys before. The developers at 2K are human beings doing a job, and they want to make something nice. But the corporate element of 2K, the shareholders, and the people who are looking to please those shareholders, they despise you. And they show that consistently, not only with the decisions they make, but with how they tell you about those decisions. If you look even at the playbook, it doesn't even scroll down past to their lies anymore. It's just the most recent one. It's hard to find the lies that they said in the beginning of the year. They lied about the player market in the past. They lied about out of position. Same thing. Oh, we don't want to do out of position. We don't want the game being, goofy lineups. But then they put in out of position because that gets you to pull packs. Right? Oh, we want player cards to be accessible. Ooh, we realize if people can just get the cards by playing the game, a lot less people spend money. How do we get them to spend money? Oh, I know, sir. We'll make them inaccessible. Well, do that. But we said we wouldn't do that. Hang that guy. Kick him out. Get him off the premises. What is he talking about? Money. That's where we are. And as I said before, this game is Kusoge. You don't know what that means. Look up my previous video on the topic. This is, it's a bad game. It's okay to enjoy bad games. People do it all the time. And we're doing it when we play 2K. So I'm sorry about Kobe Bryant. I'm sorry about the collector reward, but that's where we are. Before I get out of here, I will briefly talk about the substitute for the collector reward, because I'd be remiss if I didn't mention what they did. So basically what they did is they said there will be 2 100 overalls. I think DBG tweeted about it. We'll see if I can get a little picture of it or something. There'll be 2 100 overalls in an option pack to make up for not having Kobe. The problem is, if we go to 2KDB real quick, I said this from the very beginning. In that option pack of these 100 overalls, right? So it's basically everybody except for Yao Ming. Yao Ming is the only one of these cards, in my opinion, who hands down 100% plays his position. Everybody else, you can make a case for a different card playing their position, because these cards, as I said from the very beginning, were about emotion and enticement, not about gameplay. Right? They were juiced when they came out, but now that people have caught up to these cards defensively, if you came up against an all 100 overall lineup and you have an all dark matter lineup, there's a very real chance that you actually have the better team. Right? And let's just go case by case. LeBron James probably the second best card in this outside of Yao Ming, but Yao Ming doesn't count because he's not in the option pack. So in the option pack, who are you getting? Well, you're getting LeBron James. And if you get the LeBron James, you almost have to play him at point guard because at small forward, you know, is he the best small forward in the game? Probably. Is he the best small forward in the game by a lot? No. You know, how much better is he than Luol Deng, Jonathan Isaac, Opal LeBron? Like, you know, he's not that much of a step above that. So you're putting him at point guard so you get some kind of advantage. Tracy McGrady. I don't even think Tracy McGrady is top 3 in the game. I think at best you have him 3rd because Dr. J and Glenn Rice are top 2. But I think Ron Artest is better than T-Mac. And by the way, one of the best My Team creators of all time, Splash, agrees with me. And I think there are actually other cards you could also have above Tracy. Luka Doncic. I mean, we know who the best point guards in the game are, right? You got LeBron here. You got Shea. You got, the new Clyde Drexler, Eddie Jones. Is Luka better than those guys? I don't think so. I don't think he's better than Shea at all. I don't think you're scared of this Luka if you see him and you have Shea. Giannis is another one who is the best at his position. I think Giannis plays hands down. In fact, Giannis would be the one card that puts LeBron James at the 1. You play him at the 3, you play LeBron at the 1, there's your advantage. Magic Johnson doesn't play. Michael Jordan, trash jumper. Dirk Nowitzki, he's fine. I don't think he's better than the best cards at his position. KG, Kareem, Shaq, are they really better than Wemby, KP? If they're better, it's by a sliver. And that's my point, is this is nothing close to the nuclear weapon Kobe Bryant that you're going to get, because not only does Kobe Bryant have some of the best animations in the game and he'll probably have point guard eligibility, be at least in line with the best PG in the game, but he's also Kobe Bryant, right? Like, listen, God bless to all these other players, all-time greats, most of them, right? But people don't wake up to play KG and Dirk Nowitzki and you know, Kareem and Shaq the way they wake up to play Kobe. It just is what it is. You know, LeBron can have a case for that. Luka, he's new, but he's in that trajectory. Michael Jordan, obviously. But the rest of these cards aren't as enticing as a Kobe Bryant card. So no, the 100 overall option pack would not have motivated people to spend up until this point in time to get the collector level. At least some people, right? So yeah, they put this 100. Is this a good consolation prize? In my opinion, no. I think all of these cards were made flawed to be outdated. None of these cards have the best release in the game. Now that Glenn Rice is here, you know what a best card in the game looks like. Yao Ming is the only other card here that competes. And quite frankly, listen, as big and as broken as Yao Ming is, it's very easy to improve this card. Very easy to improve this card. Glenn Rice, the only way to improve Glenn Rice is to make him taller. And the only way to improve Dr. J is to give him Glenn Rice's base. Right? So they're starting to release nearly perfect Dark Matters right now. And, you know, these 100 overalls have basically run their course in their current form. But Yao Ming is the start of something new. Yao Ming is the start of, okay, now hands down, these are some of the best cards in the game. But again, they can't make it too far. As we discussed our power creep earlier in the year, they have to have the Dark Matters close to the 100 overalls. Otherwise, they demotivate the larger population, which will be selecting from the 100 overalls. But that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for the support, guys. I appreciate you as always. Never forget, the lizard people at 2K absolutely hate you. If you remember nothing from this video, remember that. I'll see you all in the next one. We're going to keep it going. I'm not going to let this demotivate me from the channel. I knew how 2K felt about you before I started making videos. This is not a surprise to me. I hope it's not a surprise to you guys. If it is, welcome to the party and enjoy the Kusoge. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.